Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 video games of the decade, and that is from the years of 2010 to 2019. And before any of you people who can't read a calendar say that's only 9 years, I just like to point out that it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years if you count 2010. So all those people saying top whatever of the decade then proceeding to say 2010 to 2020 are just flat out wrong. I mean, 2020 didn't even happen yet, lol. But my ramblings aside, I'm just going to point out that this list is mine and mine alone, what I personally feel were the best games of the decade, and if you happen to disagree, be sure to let me know why and what you disagree with down below in the comments. Now let's get straight into the top 10 video games of the decade list, not in any particular order by the way. Number 10, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Whoa, starting out with the big guns, huh? Yup, I decided to get straight into it because I am not playing around with this list. Now, I'm not a big Nintendo guy in the slightest, so I definitely did not anticipate a launch title for the Nintendo Switch to do so well as time passed along. Now, I know all you Nintendo fanboys are about to say in the comments, what do you mean? How did you miss the hype for this game? Again, not a Nintendo guy, so of course I would miss it, but one thing is for certain, the developers actually knocked this one out of the park. The vibrant colors and art style, the iconic cast, and an amazing story to boot. If you haven't played it yet, the best way I can describe it is that this game is really as deep as you want it to be. And if you really take the time to max out the title and explore the lore, even first-time Zelda fans will be blown away by the obvious passion behind this project. Alright, moving on to number 9, Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, I am not a big tactical FPS player. I play Call of Duty for Christ's sakes, where all you have to do is stay in the same spot all game and the idiots will run to you like fodder wanting to die. But no, not Siege. But before I continue, who here initially thought that Ubisoft would eventually dispose of this game like everything else? Hands up? Yeah, me too. If we're talking solely about a launch product, then this game would not be on the list, but the major success of it over the years due to the constant support from Ubisoft and an absolutely bustling professional scene, it would be a crime not to include it. I don't play the game often, but I do know how much of a gigantic deal it is to the Rainbow Six series and quite frankly to FPS in general, therefore it had to get a spot on this list. Okay, number 8, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. Oh come on, did you really think a cyberpunk fanboy like myself wouldn't have included this game? As a matter of fact, did you think any sane person wouldn't have included this game? The Witcher 3 is about an emotionless bounty hunter of the supernatural and his journey throughout the world. His name is Geralt of Rivia, and let me tell you, if you've been with this man since the original Witcher, The Witcher 3 is going to send you on an emotional ride about a man who honestly sees himself change. The great battle system, the compelling character set, and quite frankly the ridiculously deep and expansive open world, which honestly might have been the most detailed open world of the decade if it weren't for Red Dead 2, but more on that later. There is absolutely no way in hell that The Witcher 3 isn't one of the best games to have graced us this decade. Also, have you seen the Netflix series for this? Straight fire. Now on to number 7, which won't be much of a surprise, Red Dead Redemption 2. Alright, everybody calm down, Now I completely understand your frustration. It only took Rockstar nearly 15 freaking years to release this sequel. It was so bad that for the longest people just didn't think it was ever gonna come out. So when this thing was confirmed by Rockstar, you could imagine the internet going up in absolute flames. The best way I could put it is that if you could for a second, I know it's a reach, but for a second imagine if Gabe Newell announces Half-Life 3, not that VR bullshit, but an actual Half-Life 3 on his Twitter account, the internet would blow up, and that's exactly what happened when Red Dead 2 was announced. So you may ask, was Red Dead 2 worth the 15-year wait? Well, it made this list, didn't it? So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. As I mentioned earlier, the open world in this game might be the most detailed one we've seen on this console generation by far, and honestly, that was what I was thinking when I put it on here. Don't get me wrong, seeing the return of notable characters like John Marston was certainly a treat, and the story was pretty damn good too, but when I think Red Dead 2, I think immersiveness, I think of life, and I think compelling, so that's why it's on this list. Now on to number 6, Nier Automata. I could already see the large amount of people having no clue what this game is, despite the fact that it's the 5th installment of an RPG series and sold over 4 million copies as of May 2019, making it the 19th best-selling game on the PlayStation 4 console, beating out Call of Duty World War II and coming in just behind Grand Theft Auto 5. So if you don't know what this game is, get out from whatever rock you're living under and get educated, because I am offended. All jokes aside though, if you haven't played this game, I can honestly say that you're 100% missing out on an absolutely masterful piece of art. If you've ever had the urge to skip ahead in this video, don't do it now and take a listen to what I have to say about this game, because it is truly different. Without spoiling anything, it will honestly take you on a roller coaster of emotion that actually has you questioning, who are we? What makes us human? Who is our God? Like, I don't want to get too deep in this video, but despite being the 19th best-selling PlayStation 4 video game of all time, I honestly still think it deserves more attention. Play it if you haven't, please.
Can you hear me now? 'Cause we're gonna shout it loud, even if our words seem meaningless. It's like I'm carrying the weight of the world. I wish that some way somehow.
Whoop whoop. Time for number 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm going to make this one quick because literally everyone knows how these Grand Theft Auto games go. One releases and it's an instant banger, no questions asked, and also breaking a couple of big records along the way. Like, you can honestly only really laugh when you think about how much Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to sell when that releases, because holy fuck, the Grand Theft Auto 5 sell a lot. It's the number 3 best-selling video game of all time, as a matter of fact, right behind Tetris and Minecraft. So I'm not going to talk about the game because obviously everyone has played it, and if you haven't played it yet, please go buy it. All I know is that it would be a cardinal sin not to put it on this list after that performance. Number 4, The Last of Us. You guys ever cried before? Well, let me tell you, this game was a lot for my 7th grade mind to handle when it came out back in 2013. I think it was probably the first post-apocalyptic game to pull off the world building so well. In this game, you genuinely felt like society was fragmented and that this mushroom zombie-like outbreak was actually going to be the thing to damn humanity. Now, I'm not going to say it was the first game to attempt a post-apocalyptic storyline like this, but at the time it was definitely the best. And I'm also not gonna lie, as a young 13-year-old hormonal kid, seeing a 14-year-old girl as badass as Ellie made me want to marry her on the spot. Too bad she's not real and that she also turned out gay. But my embarrassment aside, this game had an extremely compelling storyline like pretty much no one else had seen before. It was kind of ahead of its time, and creating a world like that is absolutely no easy feat at all, so that's why it made this list. Ooh, we're getting close to the end. Now, number 3, the Dark Souls trilogy. Okay, I'll be the first to admit it, I didn't play any of these games, but come on, the memes, the fucking memes, lads. I think this RPG was probably the most defining one of the genre this decade, being that so many other developers openly admit to taking inspiration from it. Despite the fact that I haven't played it, and honestly a lot of you guys might not have either, I don't think you could leave it out after all it's done to push the genre forward. And obviously, since I haven't played it, I don't have too much to say besides thank you for all the funny ass montage videos you provided us, and thank you for the inspiration you probably gave future developers to make video games of their own. And for those of you guys who have played the Dark Souls trilogy, be sure to let us know why everyone makes such a big deal out of it down below in the comments. Okay, number 2, God of War 2018. You'd be a fool not to see this one coming, to be honest. Need I really explain to you why this game was so great? It was the 8th installment of a game series so damn iconic to the PlayStation brand that you'd be an idiot to own a PlayStation and not have at least heard of it. The reason God of War 2018 was so great is because it took a massive step back from the traditional mindless action-packed God of War gameplay and instead gave Kratos a son and an axe, significantly slowing down the game and forcing you into some actual character development. Which is something that Kratos had attempted to do in the past, but it usually ended up with him chopping someone's head off. We got to see one of our iconic PlayStation characters grow as a father and as a person, and coming to terms with who he is. And trust me, nothing was more sweet than that moment right there. And even if you hadn't played any of the previous God of War games before playing this one, according to the general populace, there is about a 0.00001% chance that you wouldn't enjoy it regardless. Now, before we hit number 1, we're gonna give a couple of honorable mentions as well as the biggest reason that the game should've or didn't make the list. Honorable mention number 1, Minecraft. This game deserves to be on the list for obvious reasons, but as many of you may know, the alpha version was released to the public in May of 2009, so it just barely missed out on the time period. The full release was in 2011, however, which kind of made me reluctant not to put it on the list, but trust me, it 100% deserves to be on there. Honorable mention number 2, Uncharted 4. This was an absolutely amazing conclusion to the Uncharted series, and character development was quite frankly out of this world. Honorable mention number 3, Horizon Zero Dawn. Ambition is the key to success, and Horizon Zero Dawn showed that truly. Great story, great characters, mind-blowing open world. Honorable mention number 4, Titanfall 2. Never thought that the bond between a man and a machine could be so touching. Shout out to you, BT. Honorable mention number 5, PUBG. This game redefined multiplayer gaming and broke records no one thought was possible. Honorable mention number 6, FORTNITE. This game did the same thing as PUBG but bigger. And it also showed other companies that fair post-launch business models can and will be successful too. Honorable mention number 7, Marvel's Spider-Man. I mean, it's Spider-Man, come on. Honorable mention number 8, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. This game is possibly the last good Call of Duty game to come out, and it's in contention to be the best Call of Duty game of all time. And now finally on to number 1 of the main list, Overwatch. And before you guys go up in flames, remember that I said that this list is in no particular order. Not that Overwatch was bad, I just know that some people would be kind of upset that it beat out some of the other games on this list, but it didn't. It's in no particular order. Now some of you guys might be wondering, how the hell did Overwatch beat out Uncharted 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, Titanfall 2, PUBG, Fortnite, Spiderman, and Black Ops 2? Well, I'm gonna keep it real with you, I have absolutely no clue, but the best way that I could put it is that Overwatch is kind of in the same boat as Rainbow Six Siege, in that this game probably should not have been as successful as it was. But despite all odds, it managed to make it past its 2nd birthday of support, and since then has become one of the biggest professionally played video games in the world. The community is an absolutely massive juggernaut, and every day over 1 million different players log in at some point to get in their rounds. As of right now, before Overwatch 2 releases, this game is Blizzard's bread and butter, and it wouldn't have been fair not to include it on such a list because it's such a culturally defining game. In come the comments, well, Fortnite was more culturally defining. No, Fortnite is a meme children could play. Let's argue about it. Anyways guys, let me know what you thought of the list. Do you agree? Disagree? What would you change, and how do you feel about this decade of gaming? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments. Anyways guys, I've been Innocence, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends on social media, and I'll catch you guys in the next one very soon. Cheers.